Welcome to a new episode. This is my mate Matt. He's going to be helping us build the car and also going to be taking part in the race. So while I carry on with the wiring, I'm going to let him introduce the next episode.
In today's episode, it's brake upgrade time.
Right, I'm at a local breakers yard. I've just found this FN2 Type Civic. It's got its brake calipers. The guys agreed a decent price for me, and which I'm happy with. So yeah, I'm going to go grab them off. I would love to set up a tripod and time lapse this out, but it's chucking down rain. I know it's pretty hard to see it on camera, so I don't want my gear getting wet. So yeah, I'll report back once I've got them. Right, that's one off, and the good news is it didn't really fight me, and the sliding pins seem all free because I spun when I tried to undo with the impact wrench. Now I get to try and get the other side off, which is kind of up against the wall, so that's going to be fun. Well, shout out to Angelo's Breakers for having the bits I've needed. I've managed to bag myself a set of FN2 Civic Type R calipers with all the mounting brackets. I've got one stuck sliding pin upside down, and you managed to get a set of used Mini Cooper discs for mock-up purposes. So all we need now is a set of Honda Accord brake pads, and I need to do a little bit of machining work.
While I cracked on with something else on the car, Matt set about removing the original brakes.
Right, first problem of the build so far. We've gone to fit the disc, the upgraded disc and caliper setup. They drop on, no problem at all. We've discovered though the back spacing is slightly different to the original discs, which means we're dragging on the disc shield slightly. And whilst they're centred on the hub fine, there's a small amount of play around the wheel studs, so we're going to have to get some spacers machined up to stop the disc floating around under braking.
The solution to the brake disc rubbing on the shield was simply to bend it back a bit. Yep, it's crude, but hey, it works. With the problem of the rubbing disc solved, Matt carried on with installing the rest of the brakes to find out if there were any other issues. Spoiler alert, there were. That's right, with our new bigger brakes, our wheels no longer fitted. One quick Facebook Marketplace purchase later. It turns out the new wheels didn't quite fit either, but this was solved by adding a 3mm spacer I had lying around behind the wheel.
Well, it's a new day, and unfortunately Matt had to go home, so it's been left to me to finish off the brakes. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is unfortunately take his work apart. That's not because he did anything wrong, quite to the contrary. When he put all this together, Matt discovered a couple of issues, and that's not too surprising because we are combining parts from about 4 different cars to make this brake setup work. The 2 issues we found was the one that you touched on earlier, which is the difference in stud size between the Rover and the Mini Cooper. So the discs basically move around on the studs, and there's no retaining screws that we can use to bolt that to the hub. And the other one is the brake pad which we ordered did not fit our calipers. Now, I'm not sure if that's a mistake in my research or our other teammate who orders parts got a wrong part number or something. The only good thing is I took the pads that came with these calipers when I took them from the breakage yard. These pads actually fit, which is a good thing, so all I need to do is figure out what size they are. However, as I have learned, there are actually 2 different sizes of pads for these calipers, so I have got to physically get these ones out so I can physically measure them and check what they are. First thing we're going to do, check up the car, get the wheel off. If I can find a wheel and tyre combo that works and clears these brakes without having to use a spacer, I, to be honest, would much prefer it. That's measuring out to be 11.9, well, anywhere between about 9.4 and 9.7 on a stud, so basically 12 mil, what I expected. And holes in the disc are at 16.2, so I need to make a little basically sleeve which goes over these studs that takes up their difference. And before anybody points this out, yes, I know you can actually buy sleeves for this conversion. However, my team's on a budget and I have access to a lathe. Guess where we're going next?
Step 1 in making brake disc adapter sleeves is to get yourself some 20mm stainless steel bar. The reason I use stainless is that it can deal with the heat that the brakes will experience, and as it doesn't corrode, the chances of them seizing in the discs is minimal. With the spacer machined down to the correct diameter and still in the lathe, I checked that it would fit the brake disc. I did this with the part still in the lathe so that if I did require turning down any more, the part would still be concentric. The outside diameter of the spacer correct, the next step was to drill the hole in the middle. I'm just showing you the final drill size here, but due to the diameter, 12mm, it required center drilling and pilot drilling first. The final step in making one of the spacers was to part it off. I think I've said it before in videos, but I really hate parting stuff off in lathes. With one spacer done, I just had to repeat the process 7 more times. I'm really glad we don't have 5-stud wheels. Matt back, he cracked on with reassembling the brakes. one side done, Matt moves on to the other side before we tackle the final job together, bleeding the brakes. In a hunt for wheels that would clear the brakes, I dug through my stash and found these.
So I'm not 100% committed to this, but I know from experience with messing around with my Civic that, of course, the C-rims fit them. The centre board's about half a mil too big, so it's not perfectly locating, but without the spacer we had to use last time, these clear the calipers, so these might be a better option for the front of our car. Unfortunately, my Easy Bleed kit doesn't have the correct end for our master cylinder, but as there's two of us here today, well, we can do this the old-fashioned way. Tell me whenever you're ready, Matt.
Without a system to pressurise the master cylinder as an Easy Bleed kit would do, it was going to have to require me to push the brake pedal while Matt opened the bleed screws on the calipers at the correct time.
Down. Yep. Yep, it's down. Cool. Am I okay to come slowly back up?
Yeah.
Okay. How are we looking on fluid in the master cylinder? Cool. It's a good job I fitted the seat. So it's a good job I fitted the seat.
Yeah.
The continuity between the two episodes is going to be awful.
With one side done, we turned our attention to the other side. This started with Matt jacking up the car, with me still in it I might add, which is quite a weird feeling, and removing the wheel to access the caliper.
I've got proper brake spanners if you want to use them.
Yeah. So, was I trouble getting the rubber nipple off?
Nipple.
Please excuse me fiddling with my hair, I don't know how, but somehow I managed to get spray paint in it.
Down.
Up. Down.
Yeah.
Up. Down.
Yeah.
Up. Down and give it a couple of pumps.
That's gone a lot stiffer.
Hold it down.
Yeah, it's down.
How's that feel?
Yeah, I mean, I've got no servo assist at the minute, but
Yeah.
I've got maybe an inch worth of travel or so before it just goes lock solid.
Cool.
Yeah, no,
That'll do nicely then. There was no bubbles. So,
fair enough.
job's a good one.
There you go. Brakes bled the old-fashioned way.
Now, that was going to be the end of the episode, but while I was in the process of editing it, this happened.
Right, well, on my hunt for wheels, I asked a work colleague who has a Honda Civic, or rather his wife's Honda Civic, if I could borrow one of them. They're 15-inch, or admittedly the tyre size is wrong, but they are the correct spigot size, the stud size is correct, and the stud pattern is correct. And, really fortunately, they just clear the brakes. So, anyway, I better take this back off and return it to my work colleague and get back to work in time. Cheers, Dave. If you're watching this, in no way am I stealing your wheels.
That's it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then please hit that like button and share. If you want to stay up to date with this build, then please hit the subscribe button and remember to hit the notification bell. And if you want to see any more videos in this build series, or you want to see some other stuff that we've been doing on our channel, then please click the links somewhere up here. Once again, thanks for watching.